So the mission is to cultivate, empower, and provide platforms for expression of the South Asian diasporic experience. And while that's a mouthful, what it really means is we showcase the South Asian experience through art, and through really powerful art.
Sarita Vasa is the founder of the 9-year-old nonprofit organization Artwala.
I worked at the Craft and Folk Art Museum. It was a summer internship that I received through UCLA. And just being there at the museum, I started to realize how great museums and ethnic communities can be. And, you know, I learned about the Japanese American National Museum, the African American Museum, and I started thinking about this idea of an Indian museum, which then transformed into now what is Artwala.
Upon graduation, Sarita started her entrepreneurial enterprise right out of college, a gutsy move.
I just wanted to go with it. And it was at a time where I was young, I didn't have a whole lot of responsibility, and I felt that if I didn't do it, I didn't know who else would. And I think in a lot of ways, I felt like it was pretty easy to get a job and make money and do the normal thing, but what I wanted to do wasn't easy.
But it helps if your father's a successful businessman. Sarita's father gave her the key steps.
So he sat me down and he said, okay, we need to come up with a business plan, an executive summary. So he really helped establish a financial base behind my ideas.
However, Dad wasn't offering a full ride. Sarita had to find a way to raise the seed capital.
So we put this kickoff luncheon together in November of '97. About 80 people came. I got to present my idea through PowerPoint, and right there at that meeting, several people came forward and said, I want to give $1,000. So we had $5,000 to work with. And that was just so much more motivation to make it work.
Yet, it'd take more than just hard work. It took sacrifice and sheer belief in a dream.
There have been points at which the organization would have close to no money left, and I've had to defer payroll. And for a while, until really this year, I was the only full-time staff. And a lot of why the organization didn't close down at that point is because I wouldn't take my pay.
The annual budget has grown from a modest $5,000 in 1997 to $200,000 in 2005. Their flagship program is the Artwala Festival, an event that showcases South Asian artists from around the world.
Or a quarter of the budget for the Artwala Festival comes from ticket revenue. And so with an $80,000 budget, about $20,000 of that is coming from ticket revenue.
The lion's share of the budget to put on the festival and other programs comes from individual contributions from donors, private institutions, and government organizations.
One thing that we did create was the Shabash book, which is the hip guide to all things South Asia and North America. The difficult part about it is just distribution and sales, and when you've got such a small organization, it's really hard to spend energies there when we're trying to spend our energies on the work.
But as Sarita transitions out of the organization, Artwala will get some help in the work department.
We just hired Meredith Lindsay Shade, and she's our new executive director. And then we've also hired Ashwini Srikantaya, who's our artistic director. And I have a lot of faith in both of these women.
My personal goal is to increase the budget by $50,000 to $60,000 per year, and that's huge. So I set the standards very high, and then I try to get as close to it as possible. So this is a big push for us this year. We're trying to increase it periodically throughout the year. So I would say in the next 5 years, I would really like to be at about $500,000 or $600,000 as our operating budget.
Essentially, I am working on the programs of Artwala. So as it stands, those are the Artwala Festival, the Shabash Guidebook, the Youthwala program, and this new storytelling project that we're starting up, and kind of overseeing all of those programmings and making sure that they're all moving forward.
And as Artwala enters a new chapter in its growth as a nonprofit, Sarita can be proud of the contribution that she's made.
I think everyone can enrich their lives through something like this, and if I've built something that can help enrich people's lives, then great. And from a personal level, I feel satisfied that I was able to be a part of this process.